What really happens when someone dies on your flight? You're on a flight to Hawaii. 7 hours over the Pacific Ocean. You're settled in, reading a book, maybe dozing off. Then you hear it. A woman scream, 2 rows behind you. The flight attendants rush past. Their faces are different now. Not the smile you saw during boarding. This is serious. They're moving fast, pulling a curtain across the aisle, blocking your view. What just happened back there? Here's what airlines don't tell you. Someone just died on your flight, and you're going to keep flying for 6 more hours, with a body on board. This isn't rare. This isn't a freak accident. This happens more than you think. Way more. Let me tell you the truth about death at 35,000 feet. Every year, approximately 600 people die on commercial flights. That's almost 2 people every single day. Flying somewhere, going on vacation, visiting family, and they never make it. The question is, what happens next? Does the plane turn around? Do they land immediately? Do they tell the other passengers? The answer might surprise you, and it might make you think twice about your next flight. Let's start with how it happens. Most deaths on planes are heart attacks. Makes sense, right? You're sitting for hours, not moving. The cabin pressure is lower than on the ground. Your blood oxygen drops. Your heart works harder. For someone with a weak heart, someone over 60, someone with high blood pressure, this is dangerous, very dangerous. But heart attacks aren't the only way. Strokes happen too. Blood clots from sitting too long. They travel to the brain, sometimes to the lungs. It's called deep vein thrombosis, DVT, and it's a silent killer. Here's something airlines won't tell you. The air you're breathing at 35,000 feet is equivalent to standing on top of an 8,000-foot mountain. Your body is stressed. Your organs are working overtime. And if you're already sick, already weak, this could be what pushes you over the edge. Now, when someone collapses on a plane, the flight attendants spring into action. They're trained for this, every single one of them. They know CPR. They know how to use a defibrillator. Every plane has one. It's the law. But here's the problem. You're in a metal tube 7 miles above the ocean. There's no hospital, no ambulance, no emergency room. Just you, the flight attendants, and whatever medical equipment is in that overhead compartment. Sometimes there's a doctor on board. The flight attendants will ask, "Is there a doctor on this flight?" You've heard it in movies. It's real. And doctors do respond. They have to. It's their oath. But even with a doctor, even with CPR, even with a defibrillator, sometimes it's too late. The person is gone. And now the flight has a decision to make. Do they turn around? Here's what you need to know. Turning a plane around costs money, a lot of money. Fuel, gate fees, rebooking passengers, delays. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars, maybe more. So airlines have a policy. If the person is already dead, if there's no chance of saving them, the flight continues. That's right, the plane keeps going to its original destination, with the body still on board. They don't announce it, they don't tell you. They just close the curtain, move the body, and keep flying. Where do they put the body? Good question. Some planes have a special area. It's not a morgue, it's just space. Usually in the back, near the lavatories. Sometimes they lay the person across 3 seats. Sometimes in the galley, wherever there's room. They cover the body with blankets. Those same blankets they offer you when you're cold. Think about that next time you accept one. And the other passengers? Most don't know. They see the commotion, they see the curtain, but they don't know someone died. The flight attendants are trained to be discreet, to keep things calm, to avoid panic. But sometimes passengers figure it out. They see the covered body. They notice the flight attendants' faces, the way they're moving, the whispers. And then what? You're stuck on that plane for hours, knowing there's a dead body 20 feet away. You can't get off. You can't escape. You just have to sit there and wait. Coming up, we'll tell you about the legal nightmare that happens after landing. Who takes the body? Who notifies the family? And what happens if the person died under suspicious circumstances? You won't believe what airlines are required to do, or rather, what they're not required to do.
So, the plane lands. Finally. You've been flying for hours with a deceased passenger on board. You're thinking, okay, now they'll handle it. Paramedics will come. Police. Someone official. Not exactly. Here's what really happens. The plane pulls up to the gate. The captain makes an announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated. We need to handle a medical situation before deplaning. Everyone stays in their seats, confused, tired. Some people are annoyed. They have connections to make, places to be. They don't know someone died. Then you see them. Airport officials, paramedics, sometimes police. They board the plane, walk straight to the back, behind that curtain, and they remove the body. Quietly, quickly, with as little fuss as possible. But here's where it gets complicated. Where did this person die? Over the Atlantic Ocean? That's international waters. No country has jurisdiction. So who investigates? The answer depends on the airline's country of origin. If it's an American airline, the FAA gets involved, but only if there's something suspicious. Otherwise it's just a death, a medical emergency. No investigation needed. The family gets notified, eventually. Sometimes it takes hours. The airline has to locate next of kin, track down phone numbers, make those terrible calls. I'm sorry to inform you. And the body? It stays at the airport, in a morgue, until the family arranges transportation. That could take days, even weeks if the person died internationally. Meanwhile, that airplane, it's cleaned, turned around, and back in the air within hours. With new passengers who have no idea what happened on the previous flight, let's talk about what flight attendants go through. Because this is traumatic. They're not trained therapists. They're not grief counselors. They're service workers who just watch someone die. One flight attendant told me she held a woman's hand as she passed away. 45 minutes of CPR. Nothing worked. The woman was gone. And then she had to serve drinks to the rest of the passengers. Like nothing happened. Another flight attendant said the worst part is the other passengers. Some get angry. Why are we delayed? They don't know someone died, and the flight attendants can't tell them. It's against policy. So they stand there, taking abuse, hiding their trauma, pretending everything is fine. But what about you? What if you're sitting next to someone who dies? What if it's your row? First, stay calm. The flight attendants know what to do. They'll move you if they need to. They'll give you space. But you might see things you can't unsee. One passenger described watching CPR for 30 minutes. The chest compressions, the gasping, the moment when they stopped, when they knew, and then sitting there for 4 more hours, unable to think about anything else. Here's something airlines won't tell you. You can't sue them for emotional distress. Not for being on a flight where someone died. It's considered an act of God, a medical emergency, not the airline's fault. So if you're traumatized by the experience, if you need therapy, that's on you, your insurance, your problem. Now let's talk about the morbid logistics. Airlines have protocols for this. Detailed protocols. They're in the flight attendant manual. Step-by-step instructions for handling a deceased passenger. First, confirm the death. Check for pulse. Check for breathing. Try CPR. Try the defibrillator. If nothing works, call it. Time of death. Second, move the body. Find a space. Cover it. Keep it away from other passengers as much as possible. Third, document everything. What time did it happen? What did they try? Who helped? All of this goes in a report. Fourth, secure personal belongings. Wallet, phone, jewellery. These need to go to the family. The airline is responsible for them. Fifth, deal with the seat. That seat where the person died. It needs to be cleaned, deep cleaned. But sometimes there's blood or other fluids, and the cleaning crew at the next airport might not have time to do a thorough job, so that seat might go back into service that day, on the next flight, with a new passenger who has no idea what happened there. You want to know the really disturbing part? Airlines don't have to tell you if someone died in your seat. Not on that flight. Not on previous flights. It's not public information. So, that seat you're sitting in right now? Someone might have died there last week, last month. You'll never know. Coming up in the final section, we'll reveal which flights have the most deaths, the warning signs that someone near you might be in trouble, and the one thing you can do to protect yourself. Plus, what happens in the incredibly rare case when someone is murdered on a flight. Yes, it's happened, and the story will shock you. Let's talk about which flights are the most dangerous. Long-haul international flights. 8 hours to London, 12 hours to Tokyo. That's where most deaths occur. More time in the air means more risk. Red-eye flights are especially deadly. Sleeping pills mixed with alcohol and low cabin pressure. Dangerous combination. The deadliest time? The last 2 hours of any flight. Your body has been stressed for hours. You stand up. Blood rushes. Heart struggles. Sometimes it stops. Here's how you protect yourself. Your survival guide. Rule 1. Move every hour. Walk the aisle. Stretch. Do ankle circles. This prevents blood clots. Set a timer. Rule 2. Drink water constantly. 8 ounces every hour. The cabin air is drier than the desert. Coffee doesn't count. Alcohol makes it worse. Rule 3. Wear compression socks. They reduce blood clot risk by 40%, especially on flights over 4 hours. Rule 4. Know the warning signs. Chest pain, shortness of breath, calf pain, sudden dizziness. Press the call button immediately. Don't wait. Rule 5. Tell flight attendants about medical conditions, heart problems, recent surgery, blood clots. They need to know. They'll watch you. Rule 6. Take aspirin before long flights. Talk to your doctor first. It thins blood, reduces clot risk. Rule 7. Choose aisle seats. You can get up easily. Movement is survival. Rule 8. Eat light before flying. Heavy meals stress your heart. Eat small. Follow these rules. They could save your life. Watch for warning signs in yourself and others. If someone is struggling, sweating, clutching their chest, get help immediately. So here's my question. What will you do differently on your next flight? Move more? Drink water? Wear compression socks? Drop your answers below. Share this with someone over 60 who flies. They need to know this.